Hello, welcome to my page. This is my home, this is my abode. My name is Divine Blessing, and I'm going to tell you all about my experience. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I know I mixed it all up. Whatever time you're watching me, a big welcome. Okay, let me get straight to the point. My name is Divine Blessing. This is my page, and I'm going to be sharing my experience with you, turning on my transformation with you from an INFJ to an ENFJ to an ENFP. All right, it all started when I found out an INFP actually introduced me to MBTI, and he told me to go take the test, and I was like, wow, I was all about self-discovery. So hearing that, finding out my MBTI, my personality type, it was all mixed up then. But when I found out I was an INFJ, I found out that we were the rarest personality type. Like, everyone was like, INFJ is rarest personality. YouTube, everywhere, we're all over the place. And I was, wow. I'll share that experience later. I'll share my experience finding out how it felt like to be one of the world's rarest personality type, or the transformation. All right. So, one thing, I actually found out that MBTI, the personality type, they were like the classification I read on Google, and if I actually found that personality types do not shift. They don't shift. But actually, this happened to me. I answered the questions unbiasedly. Like, I didn't answer the questions like, this is how I think I am. I answered the questions based on how my friends perceived me to be, and from who I really think. So I wasn't being biased when answering these questions. So I actually went to Quora to go and find out more about what people say about personality types shifting and everything. So I actually found that your personality type can change based on different experiences. And actually, there were several experiences, three key experiences that happened in my life that I know that changed those letters, the way I think, my function stack, and the way I perceive the whole world to be. Before, I was an introvert. I entered college and I didn't associate with any of my lodge mates for like more than 5 months. Okay, yeah, and the headline of this video is all this whole change happening within a year. So yes, in the year 2024, I went from an INFJ to an ENFJ to an ENFP. I wasn't during these major changes. I felt it. I felt the change. I felt it within me. So I'll just be sharing and be going through. First of all, from an INFJ to an ENFJ, it happened when most of my friends left me. And the friends I had were actually social media friends. The friends I had when I was an introvert during the INFJ period, they were actually social media friends. So when these social media friends left me, when this group of friends left me, I felt like I was all alone. Because I felt like I was all alone and everything, I found that I started to look out for people. I started to leave my phone. I started to leave social media. I stopped being introverted. I stopped being introverted. All of a sudden, I found myself, if I was to enter a vehicle, I'll talk to the vehicle driver, talk to him about his life. But he struck up deep intellectual meanings and conversations together. If I was to see a baby or a child, I'll talk to the child as if we have been best friends for 10 years. Or my friends, they noticed that I was all of a sudden more bubbly and outgoing, and I was even more willing to even go into social groups. During that time, I found out that I felt the urge to start up a reading group with my college friends. So from an INFJ to an ENFJ, what actually triggered that change was the fact that most of my friends on social media actually left me at that period. So I actually enjoyed being an ENFJ. It was actually a very wonderful experience, seeing that I stood up for myself. I could say no. I stood up for myself. I knew how to say no. I was very direct. It was like I was like very diplomatic. That I got into so many leadership positions. My lecturers and teachers were like, "Oh, we need you. We need you. We need you." All of a sudden, I was the quiet, shy, and pushing over kind of person, pushing over kind of girl. Was now this lady that was not afraid to express who she was, and yeah, all those things. So I actually love planning and everything. ENFJs, if you're interested, you can go on any website and search more about ENFJs. They're actually a very nice case study, considering that I was one, because I actually study a lot about ENFJs. And what changed me from an ENFJ to an ENFP? Actually, what changed me from an ENFJ to an ENFP was the fact that my college choice, the department, the course I wanted to study in college had gotten changed numerous times. I would plan one thing. ENFJs are planners. I would plan one thing, plan it, structure it. In the future, I will plan how I want to spend this hour. I was already having this so many ideas about the future, how I wanted it to go, and so many things, so many factors. So when I stopped talking to most of my friends, I found out that so many things, I dropped so many things because I stopped my study groups. I stopped hanging out with my friends because the change was just so much. It took me time to adapt to the fact that things don't always go as planned. And I think it was during that point where I became cut off from everyone, and I started to reflect on myself. I started to understand that sometimes what we plan doesn't always go as planned. And I took it in, reflected some time away from my friends, away from everyone, and I reflected. So during that moment, I found out that there was a shift in me. I started hating planning. I started hating schedules. I started hating to-do lists. Though I did plan, but I was planning with the fact that, hey, this plan can be changed. I shouldn't be so inflexible. And I found out that I actually found out that mentality, I found out that, oh, this is not an ENFJ thing to do. Have I changed? Is there anything, has my personality changed in any way? So I now went down to Google, took the test, and I found out that I was an ENFP. Actually, as an ENFP, I feel like I'm more confident, and I felt like the outgoing level increased because I found myself expressing myself. I found myself being flexible, and I found myself going with the flow. There's one title they gave ENFPs as us being the jack of all trades and everything. I found myself doing a lot of things, investing in my time and energy in a lot of things, and just getting to explore the world more without it having to be based on that script that I write every day before 9 a.m. So my advice is that once your personality changes, you're not a creepy caterpillar metamorphosis. Oh yeah, let's say you are even a caterpillar. Just know you're yeah, I did that part. My advice to all the ENFPs, ENFJs, INFJs, the 16 personality types out there. My advice to each and every one of you is that, yeah, personality types do change. Circumstances, situations, and so many other things can make you go from one personality type to another. So what am I saying? I'm saying that once these things happen, or once you do change, do not feel like you are changing into just embrace the change. Be happy with who you are. Live life. Find out your strengths and your weaknesses. Find out those strengths, find out those weaknesses. Embrace the strengths. Challenge the weaknesses. I know we can't just get it 100% just one day, or the day we find out that we all have different, maybe our personality has changed over time. But what I want you to understand is that you can do it. You can focus on those weaknesses. Develop your strengths. For each stage, from an INFJ to ENFJ to ENFP, I made sure that my weaknesses were the things that I was challenging, hitting them like this every day. So I know you can do it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate. Yeah,